Your favorite musicians, exclusive interviews, local artists, all on the Life Songs Podcast.
Good morning. It's the Life Songs Morning Show. I'm Josh, and I'm very excited to have Logan Kane from the band Kane hanging out with me this morning. Logan, how's it going?
Hey, brother. It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm psyched summer is here. It's like a whole different vibe. You know, it's kind of like your music, honestly, where there's just like this chill vibe to it. It's fun, but it's easy.
Hey, I'd love to be. Please make my music synonymous with summer anytime. That makes me so happy.
You may have noticed when you were here with the Drive-In Theater Tour, Zach Williams, Mac Powell, and y'all, the Life Songs family, they know the words to your songs. They were singing along loud.
Yeah. It will never not be weird to me, Josh. I think that, so I'm the youngest in my family, and I was terribly shy growing up, and I'm not so shy now, but I'll just never think somebody ought to know the words to my music, I guess is what I should say. So anytime I see somebody singing along, it's just like my Grinch heart grows 10 sizes and explodes. It's just incredible.
My Grinch heart. We're going to do a little aside here because you threw the Grinch out there. You guys covered Kenny Loggins with your Christmas song this past year. Was the dopest move of all time. It was so
good. We had to fight for it, but it's just, that song is Christmas to me. I don't know. It was always a part of our Christmas tradition. It was always on the radio. So when we brought it up, they said, well, I don't think you should. And then we just waited and said, well, can we? And we just asked later and tried it again.
You're a family band. You're all siblings. You sound like, even your decision-making process, you're all 9 and 10 and 11 years old. You know, like,
yes.
We'll just ask again until mom says yes.
That's right. Forever trapped in classic 3-kid fashion. We'll go one at a time, and then we'll turn the parents against each other, you know, so.
During a pandemic is a pretty terrible time to start gaining traction on your Christian music career. What have you guys learned over this past year?
Oh, my gosh. First and foremost, I learned how little I know about how anything works or how little control I have in any of it. But I think that the lesson I learned that will serve me and hopefully you guys out there listening, because it's not exclusive to a music career. I think it is exclusive to a human life, that when I open my hands and when I stop trying so hard to control each and every thing and outcome in my life, God has so much freedom to push me through and around to where he needs me. And so specific to our situation, we start a tour with Zach Williams and We the Kingdom, and I'm thinking, here it is. This is my moment. God, this is what you've prepared us for. And 5 days later, I come home, and then 2 weeks turns into 6 months, into a year, and I was fighting so hard to try and end this pandemic on my own. You know what I mean? I was trying so hard, and I thought, if I just do a live stream every Thursday, and if I go set up in somebody's cul-de-sac and do a free concert, and there was no amount of effort that I could put out that was changing my circumstances. And so I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to sit at home and rest in what you're doing, God. I'm going to just decide to give in to the season of what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, it was like, just immediately peace came, and it was like, you know what, if we never go back to what people esteemed as normal, I have found peace in where I was. And I think, not to hyper spiritualize it, but then, you know what I mean, when as I have learned to be content, I think that was easy for me to say and hard for me to do. Yeah. And so to find contentment, not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of like, okay, rather than wishing I was on tour and singing to thousands, how can I minister to the 5 people in my living room every Monday at my small group? Finding contentment to understand that God's plan is still so big, even in a really small space.
That's beautiful. That's a good sentiment. I'm one of those people that oftentimes confuses hopeless exhaustion with contentment. And it takes an active faith life to be really, truly content. Not just, I'm at the end of my rope, but I'm going to actively trust you here.
Yeah, that's so good. Right. Not like contentment being my last resort, but contentment being my first choice. I think that is a struggle, but finding that contentment in the space without it feeling like a contingency plan, I think it's so important, because now I wake up and my expectations are tempered, and I can say like, okay, God, if I didn't get to leave my house today, how can I bring you glory? You know what I mean? Like if I didn't get to do my version of bringing you glory, how can I glorify you still? Man, not easy by any means, but I just feel like we're going to walk into the most expectant year of God's people right now. I feel like we're walking headlong into it because we're going to find out. You know, we did this drive-in tour down here with you guys. Every night I stand on stage and I see, like, these are people that found a way to get here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm finding people that are willing to put a little something on the line because we've never had more access to godly things than we do right now. We've kind of gotten to where we can take it or leave it. The on-demand nature of our culture has allowed us to sort of just take it or leave it. And it's really humbling and convicting for me, but also just makes me so appreciate people that will put forth the effort and set things aside and find a way. So if that's you, if you're listening and that's you, my hat is quite literally off to you.
So come on and rise up, take a breath, you're alive now. Can't you hear the voice of Jesus?
It's the Life Songs Morning Show, and we're talking to Logan Kane of the band Kane. Many of you got to see him perform with his sisters, Taylor and Madison, at the drive-in theater tour with Zach and Mac, and it was awesome. You guys grew up in the church, you're pastors' kids. How important is listener-supported Christian radio in your life? And not just in your career, but like growing up.
I didn't know that there was anything else. Like, listener-supported Christian radio was literally the music. It was the soundtrack of my life. And I think that I got a chance to be impressed as a young person by the music of Stephen Curtis Chapman and Rich Mullins and Mac Powell. And I got to grow up thinking that those people were cool. And then I didn't feel like a longing in my heart for something else. You know what I mean? I think that what's true of my story is probably true of a lot of people's story, is that I didn't feel a need to rebel because I felt really well taken care of by my parents, by my church, by ultimately my Christian radio station, right? And so I've never seen it more than I see it now, that each individual radio station is a ministry. And so if I were to honor my pastors in my church, I'd like to honor my program directors and my on-air people the same way, and to say, like, okay, this is me lifting you up in prayer and supporting you financially so that you can ultimately reach out to a bigger range of people. And so if I didn't have listener-supported Christian radio as a young man, then I could have wandered off into who knows what kind of music. Whatever you put into your heart comes out of your mouth. And so I think it's so important that good Christian radio is available to young people on a daily basis.
What are you guys looking forward to, like in the coming weeks and months and years? You got any new music in the works, any collaborations? I hear Lecrae will literally rap over anyone's bridge, so that's always an option.
We're scheming. We just put out a new album May 7th. It's 5 songs from our original EP, and then we have 5 brand new songs. So I'm excited about that. I feel this project represents me musically as well as anything that I've ever done. It makes me so proud. We have something to the effect of like 130 shows left this year. It's a miracle. I'm telling you, we're going to be so busy, but it's going to just be incredible, and it's going to be something I'll never forget. And probably the thing I'm most excited about is we anticipate to be backing at it in the fall on the Rescue Story Tour with Zach Williams and We the Kingdom. And I just think that is going to be, I was talking about the expectancy of God's people, and I'm expecting it to be just so special. So a full summer of Christian music festivals. If we're in your area, we'd love to say what's up. We're finishing the drive-in theater tour here over the next month or so, and then off on the Rescue Story Tour in the fall. So
very cool. Coming up next on the Life Songs Morning Show, we're going to learn a little bit more about Logan and his sisters Taylor and Madison with a game I like to call Raising Cain. And it has nothing to do with chicken fingers. It's coming up next. I don't know if you guys got any Raising Cane's when you were down here, but it's like a big chain of chicken fingers.
Oh, I love it. They've got some in Kentucky. My wife's from Kentucky, so.
Yeah, I'm in the minority here because I feel like it's nothing more than like school cafeteria food. And for a lot of people, like that just brings back wonderful memories. And for me, it brings back memories of I don't know where to sit. I don't have any friends.
Yes, come on. I don't know where to sit. That is me.
It's the Life Songs Morning Show. We've got Logan Kane from the band Kane with us, and we're going to learn a little bit more about he and his sisters with a game called Raising Cane. So this has nothing to do with chicken fingers. It's just kind of a blitzkrieg of questions about when you guys were younger. And I want you to be absolutely honest, even if it means throwing your sisters under the bus, okay?
You can count on it.
All right, here we go. Who got in the most trouble as a child or teenager?
Logan Kane. In trouble all the time.
So it was you. You were the troublemaker.
It was me.
Always the pastor's kid.
Always. And I think I said that I played being shy, but I wanted attention, and I guess I found it in trouble. So,
all right, what's something that you guys did, maybe you specifically, that you got away with, and you need to confess to your mom right now?
Okay, Mama, what did I get away with? To be fair, I didn't get away with a lot, and then we had a family cell phone. Kids listening now are probably like, "What? One cell phone?" We had a family cell phone, and I was using it. And then left it outside, and it got rained on.
Ooh, and this is pre-watertight cell phones.
Ooh, and I went and found it, and then I was just like, oh, I found the phone. It was in the garage, and it's like dripping wet. And they're like, oh, in the garage, huh? Can I get some rice for this?
What is the age difference between you and your sisters?
We are 3 and 3 years. They call us Irish triplets, so there's like 14 months between Taylor Madison and then 17 months between Madison and myself. So we are bang, 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 3 stairs right in a row.
Did you guys blackmail one another as teenagers?
I have to give my sisters a lot of credit. I think it's probably not as cool that we were like cool to each other, but my sisters were cool. And so shout out to any older siblings that make your younger siblings feel cool. They always let me hang out with people their age. So I felt like I graduated 3 times because I was close to Taylor's friends, and then they left, and I had to stay. And then Madison's friends left, and I had to stay. Not a lot of blackmail, but we could have stood to be a little harder on each other. I think we were probably too close.
Do you have any unusual or weird skills that we should know about?
For those of you that don't know or don't follow us on Instagram, I am a world champion cheerleader, actually. And so I stunt.
Wait, you said
and tumble at a world-class level.
World champion cheerleader.
I am, yeah. So we have above the collegiate level, we have a U.S. national team that once a year competes against the rest of the world. I have 2 gold medals with the U.S. national team as a cheerleader.
That is awesome. I probably have seen you perform on ESPN 8.
Yeah, the Ocho, that's right.
Noise over here!
Noise over here!
Let's hear some noise over here!
Noise over here!
Are you fired up?
We're fired up!
All right, so your band's name is your last name. It's not a reference to the world's first murderer. You guys covered that on stage at concert. But what Bible character do you most personally identify with?
Oh, man. This is tricky because it's like you don't want to pick somebody that you just like give too much credit. We're watching through The Chosen right now. Do you watch The Chosen at all?
Yeah,
you guys
it's awesome.
know that TV show? Yeah, so it's the bomb. I think the way they're portraying Peter, I can relate to that a lot, where I think that there's a good heart in there, but I think I'm just trying to throw punches too often, and I get a little fired up. But yeah, I think probably The Chosen's portrayal of Peter, I think that's, if we find that to be accurate, that's probably who I'm most like.
Very cool. We've been talking to Logan Kane of the band Kane, and that was a fun game called Raising Cane, just to get to know you a little bit better. Thanks for taking some time to hang with us. Thanks for coming to town the other day. It was so awesome. That was the first concert that I have been to in over a year, and it was so great.
Oh, well, thank you, and thanks to all you guys for hanging with us. And like you said, knowing the words, and that stuff is not lost on us for a second. We left New Orleans and thought, gosh, I can't wait to get back here. So thank you guys for loving us well and taking care of us.
You are always welcome.
Your favorite musicians, exclusive interviews, local artists, all on the Life Songs Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Life Songs family? This is Logan from Kane the Band, and I just want to say that God is good all the time.